Hey guys, and welcome back to Digital Income Family. My name is Haley.
And I'm Doug.
If you don't know who we are. And today we're going to talk about the top 5 passive income streams for 2022 that don't require a heavy investment up front, that can be done alongside your 8 to 5 job. And that honestly, I think almost all of these have freed us from our 8 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, we're only going to be recommending things that we actually have experience with.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like, those random side hustle things. These are like legitimate passive income ideas.
Yeah, this isn't going to be like medical coding or what else do people recommend?
I know, like translation or something
That's
like that.
actually not passive, but yeah, we're not going to be recommending those things. These are like legit businesses that we know you can turn into 7-figure businesses that aren't just going to make you like $100 at the end of the month. It's not like life-changing money. So we're also going to talk about how a lot of these income streams enabled our family with 3 young kids working around like 2 to 3 hours a day to last month, which we do income reports on the channel like all the time. But last month we made over $91,000 with these types of income streams. So we're pumped to be able to bring this to you guys. But if you are new to our channel or our podcast, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so let's get something out of the way first. When we talk about our passive income and the ideas that we have, we're excluding a couple of things. And those 3 things are things that you'll hear people talk about, which are things like real estate or investment properties, stocks and investing in the stock market, and then crypto.
Yeah.
So the reason why we're leaving those things out is, one, you need a lot of capital to be able to make money.
And there are people everywhere that says you don't need money to get started in real estate, and you don't to a certain extent, but you won't be making life-changing money without taking money and investing it into those things. You know, like you could dabble here and there in crypto, but it's not going to like help you quit your job.
And so before you actually go jump into those, you actually do need to earn some kind of income first to make those things truly passive. So the first one that we want to talk about here are digital products and coaching. Now, when I say digital products, don't kind of like jump out of here and think we're going to have you sell like some type of a downloadable
Canva
or something,
template.
Canva template
Like
or something on Etsy, wallpapers or something like that. No, these are like legitimate courses and programs that, can actually go for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different ways to be able to break out digital products and then coaching and kind of like that avenue. So we actually do this. This is primarily what we do for our business. And there's a lot of different ways for you to be able to break those 2 out.
And so, for example, we've really only dove like headfirst into digital products just within the last 2 years. We went from making like nothing, obviously, to over sometimes 6 figures a month. We've had multiple 6-figure months, and it's just been crazy. So the possibilities are absolutely endless, as cheesy as that is, as to like what you can do in this industry, depending on your skill set, depending on what type of platforms you might be or not be on. There's so many different options. So like, how could you break out this business? Because I think a lot of people assume that it has to be like, I don't know, a $30 ebook or workbook or, but that's just skimming off the surface of what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to break this down because we could do like an entire podcast, an entire video on how these things work. But let's just start with like courses, for example. So courses are things where people basically buy your knowledge. And so you're putting your knowledge into videos or into like worksheets and templates and scripts and things like that. And then people basically pay for access to that. And so what's really cool and what makes it passive is that you aren't consistently sitting there like teaching a class over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like where the passive side comes into play.
So a lot of people assume that you have to be some mega expert, you have to be certified, or you have to have some master's degree in whatever you're teaching, but that is the farthest from the truth. So I'm not saying that you want to scam people and that you want to charge people an arm and a leg for information that you suck at. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you definitely want to start selling the knowledge that you have with where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And so all you really need to do is you just need to be able to sell basically the position that you're in to somebody that wants to be in that position. So all you really need to know is one step ahead when it comes to doing these things.
So like for instance, let's say that you're a decent cook, but like you don't have some culinary degree, you've never cooked in a restaurant, and you just kind of know your way around the kitchen, but you try and assess areas of your life where you are an expert in relation to cooking because you have a passion for it, you're semi-good at it, and it's the one thing that you feel like you'd want to teach people because you do it every day, maybe 3 times a day. So you look at your life and you say, hey, I have an abnormally large family. So maybe you have a family of even, I don't know, 3 kids is abnormally large nowadays, like we have. So let's say every Monday you sit down and you have a budget of like, I don't know, $300. You're on a very strict budget because you're trying to save for something, getting out of debt or getting a house, whatever. And you have only $300, I don't know, a week. Is that a lot? I don't know. Let's say it's not that much. So let's say clearly we don't budget our meals.
It's a budget. So basically what she's trying to say is that you have some type of budget that you need to be able to fit all of your food into into.
Yes.
And so you're really good at that.
But
Although,
it has to be healthy too.
Okay, but it has, she keeps throwing things in there.
I
Okay,
know.
so it has to be healthy, it has to be in a budget, and you know, it has to be able to feed, let's say, 9 kids or something like that.
Oh,
okay, I'm
gosh.
just kidding about the
Yeah.
9. But the point that Haley's trying to make here is that you didn't go to school to learn this.
No.
You don't have a degree that
you're
says
good
I
at
can
it.
teach
Yeah.
or I can cook for a large number of people that's healthy under a certain budget. But you in itself are proof that you can make that happen. And so that in itself is enough for people to want to be able to buy that course from you.
So for that type of course, maybe you could charge like $297. You know, honestly, you could charge a lot more because you're saving people money.
So let's say that you are charging something like $297 for this program, and you're like, man, all I really need to do is make an extra $1,000 a month passively, passively as possible to be able to do this. Well, $297 is almost $300. You get 3 or 4 sales and you've made that income.
And also what that would look like is literally just posting on social media for an hour a day. I mean, most people have an hour a day. Right now, as you're watching this podcast or YouTube video, wherever you're listening or watching it, our kids are literally behind the camera coloring because they know this is our job.
They're looking up at us. Like,
yeah,
what are
we
you doing?
spend like all of our time with our kids and they're okay with it because we play with them almost all the other hours of the day. And our baby is sleeping. So we make the time for our business, but we don't have to make a lot of time. So it's honestly just so easy on family life. And for people that don't have a lot of time, because most people, like I said, they have an hour a day to just post on social media. So once you create your product, which does, you know, take some upfront work, but basically all you have to do is share what you're doing or what you're passionate about on social, and you can get sales to your course passively every single day.
Yeah, and so that's why we really recommend this income stream. Now, there are derivatives of this, okay? There's also obviously group coaching and the one-to-one coaching. We won't get into all the details of that because a lot of people are like, that's not as passive.
Yeah, but it can be 100% passive.
It can be because as you start to scale, you can hire people.
Yeah.
You can have funnels that are set up to be able to push people into groups. Like there's a lot of automations and a lot of really cool things that you can do to make it really passive. But because we are trying to aim this video towards people who are a little bit on the newer side, we want to keep things as straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
Like courses are the most passive that are there out of the 3 at the start for beginners with like no capital to start.
Yes.
Now, the second income stream here is affiliate marketing. I know a lot of you are going to roll your eyes in the back of your head. You hear everybody talk about affiliate marketing, but there's a difference here, okay? If you do also do our first recommendation, which is courses, you can actually do affiliate marketing within your program.
Yeah, and this is like super helpful because, you know, when you just put things out on social media or tell your friends and family, like go buy through my link, first off, that's weird. But second off, you know, the conversion rate is really, really low, especially if you blend all of these passive income ideas together. They just work like synonymous with each other. And if someone is going into your program looking, they obviously see you as an authority, as an expert, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to want to buy through your links to support you, but not only that, but because they want to follow the program to get the results that are promised.
They're going to want everything to a T. Okay, so that includes things like software. It could include equipment. It could be the things that you buy. It could be the recipes. You know, if you're a cook, it could be so many other things. But really, they're going to want those same results that you are promising or that you're trying to help them get. So why would they try to use anything that's different? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where affiliate marketing is very strong, and it's a way for you to be able to blend your different income streams.
So the third one, I feel like not a lot of people do, but if you don't want to have to spend a lot of time creating a full-on online course, doing something like a paid webinar is very beneficial. So a paid webinar is something that would be like an hour or sometimes even like a 2-hour live training. And you could host that. I mean, this isn't the passive part, but you could host it maybe once and then record it and then release it like and launch it every couple of months or every month, whatever. And then people pay a set rate, right? Like it could be anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It just depends.
Yeah, you set the price on what you want to be able to charge for it. But what's really cool about it is you do it live the first time. So you make it very interactive. And so you can get people really engaged in it. And you can have a great time that's doing it. And then once it's done and recorded once, then that's the passive part is that you just start promoting it after that. So you could just link it in social. You know, you can talk about it every once in a while. You can have it on a website. And you just have a link that goes to somewhere where somebody can register, they can pay, and then they get that content. It's super easy and really passive.
Yeah, and people don't have to, like I said, create a, 6-week or 6-month long online course, something super like time consuming. You can dip your toes in with just doing a paid webinar.
Okay, so another really good income stream that has to also do with social media, and that's kind of like the tie-in that we're trying to have here as well, is actually to self-publish a book and then have that rank in search engines like Amazon. So I know this sounds confusing.
Yeah, it sounds
this
hard.
Sounds
It's
hard.
like I suck
this
at
sounds
writing.
Weird,
Yeah.
but it's really not that bad. Okay, there are people, I've actually seen this. I saw a video on this recently. Somebody was doing kids books. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like 15 words total in a book, and then they self-publish it through Amazon. They hire an illustrator. And then once they get it to sell, they sell it on Amazon, they get it listed, they get it ranked, and it just makes money every month.
Yeah.
For like 15 words and a cat.
Yeah.
So like,
cat.
I know. So it was crazy. So being able to actually like come up with this idea, and obviously you don't have to do a kid's book, but that was just an example that I had.
A lot of other people have like workbooks, like step by step, like journaling. Okay, journaling's huge. I mean, not to get on tangent, but they have journaling. Most of the book, the other person that buys it fills it in themselves, you know? So it doesn't have to be like a full-on novel.
Just self-publishing like random lines in a book.
No, it has to be
I'm just
good.
kidding.
But my point to this is you can rank it through having a social media presence. That is what I believe most people should do, because you need leads somehow, you know?
Absolutely.
So if you already have a social media presence, if you're even posting like a little bit, you don't need that many reviews to rank a product on Amazon, depending on the niche that you're in.
Yep. And so that actually leads us into our fifth passive income stream, which is doing physical products through Amazon FBA. Okay, so we actually used to do this. We actually used to sell products through Amazon. Amazon would ship it, and they would do all of the customer service, and they would hold everything. And that's the passive side. Okay, so using Haley's audience, we were able to get our product to rank. That's the social media side of things. Once it gets ranked, because you have this boost of your followers or people that that are buying it, then you rank higher in Amazon, and it becomes extremely passive because you're able to do everything kind of like you're able to let everything go once you have the systems in place.
Yes.
What some people think of Amazon is they think of like retail arbitrage, which is where you have to go to like Target
TJ
and
Maxx.
Kohl's and TJ Maxx and buy the things and ship them. Like that's not passive, like 0% passive when doing that. What we're talking about is actually like
creating your own physical product.
Having your own physical product
most
made.
likely overseas through like most of the time it's a Chinese manufacturer.
Yeah, and then having them create everything, ship it straight to Amazon, and then you just sit back, let it get ranked, and then make your sales.
Yeah. And so Doug, why would you recommend that if we don't do that anymore? I feel like people might be thinking that.
Yeah, so people might be like, why don't you guys sell that anymore? You know, whatever happened to doing that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. So Amazon FBA, it's actually a little bit more difficult to be able to get into nowadays.
It's more competitive.
It is more competitive, and there's also outside factors. That's how I'm putting this in the video. Outside factors that are affecting things currently.
Yeah.
Okay, so just because of that, it's a little bit harder to get into. But if you're really into it and you really like creating your own product, it can be a very good passive income stream that blends with your social media presence.
And most likely, like the higher barrier to enter, what is it? A barrier to entry that like a business or a product is for the marketplace, it's going to be more lucrative if you stick it through.
Yep.
So we don't do Amazon FBA anymore because we found that with digital products, it's just the most amazing combination with social media. And it is also with physical products too, but there's not a huge upfront capital, hence why this is the fifth one. But since we had a direct like experience with it, we do recommend it for people that really have a good idea and want to create something, you know, from scratch.
Yeah, you can start it with lower capital to begin with and then like slowly reinvest over time.
Yeah.
And so there are a couple like asterisks or caveats to this fifth one that's here, but it was very passive for us because we were able to just walk around town and just get dings on our phone for Amazon sales.
And this was actually the business that allowed Doug to quit his 6-figure job. So yeah, it was amazing. We did it like how many years ago? 4 years ago, something like that. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any ideas that you've started or something that you think that we might have missed, then definitely leave it in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe if you are new, and we will see you in our next one. Bye guys.